Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your host, TB Scouting MMA, and oh no, where's the guru? Well, it's all right. In his place and joining the show as was planned anyways, we have the one and only, one of the best professional gamblers in the game, in the MMA space. You just got to get out there and see what he's cooking up because he's got no weekly show anymore, and that's all right. I think it makes the heart grow even fonder. So without further ado, we have the godfather of MMA betting himself at Bets and Picks MMA, Andrew Gombas. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Yeah, incredible introduction. Appreciate you having me, and looking forward to chatting with you. I know we've got a good card here, and hopefully some good nicknames to match it. I mean, there's no one that's going to be telling us otherwise today. That's for sure.
I'm just saying, every nickname is going to be the best nickname of a lifetime. So, yeah, I had to bring that guru energy on the breakdown. So, yeah, on the intro here. So, Mushroom, what's going on? We're not even going to give Guru his. What's up, Andrew? It is a very handsome show, especially now that we subtracted the guru. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, appreciate all you guys joining the show. If you haven't done so already, I can forgive you this early, but let's all hit the like button. It means so much. It helps us out, growing the channel, reaching new people. The more you view it, the more you like it. It just goes, that's the free way you can help us. Then if you subscribe to the channel, that's even better because then you'll see our content every week. We have the best bets, the best guests, always free picks. Andrew Gombas himself for UFC 318 to send off Dustin the Diamond Poirier. I mean, what better could you have possibly asked for? When it comes to the big cards, we've got to bring out the heavy hitters. So, hell yeah, grateful dude. We are grateful for you. We are definitely grateful for harassment-free night with our nicknames. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. And shout out, Make the Bookies Pay with his so generous donation as of recent weeks. If you guys feel like getting a parlay named or a dog shot named after yourself, do the same thing and donate to the show. But by the end, we'll give you a little Make the Bookies Pay parlay just to have some fun. So on our way, here we go. What you people came for tonight. We've got Max Blessed Holloway, minus 135 versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier, plus 114. Oh, man. They get their own nicknames in all fairness. This is the BMF bout, our main event. But, Andrew, did you prepare any nicknames for this event?
Bustin' Dustin Poirier taking on Max all the way Holloway in a trilogy. Great main event. No way this fight's boring. I'm going with Dustin here, but I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. I think either guy can win. I just think Dustin's power has proved to be the difference in their especially their last meeting. He's a more experienced at 155. He's fought bigger guys than Max. Max obviously has an incredible resume of his own, but up at 155, he hasn't seen the same level of success that Dustin has. I mean, obviously Max has great volume, great cardio, but Dustin could actually match his volume and cardio, and I think has a power edge. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to mix in takedowns like the last fight, so I'm going to go with Dustin here.
Yeah, and to your point, I think Dustin has the better depth and breadth of MMA game. I like his calf kicks a bit more. I think Max has done a really great job in expanding his own kicking game. I think the Volkanovski fight really showed him he needed to level up in that regard. The thing is, against the highest level fighters, against the most powerful fighters, Max tends to come up a little bit short in those scenarios. And him bouncing around weight classes these last few fights, I don't think that necessarily helps as far as long-term longevity and, Topuria, he's just different. So I'm not sure Dustin comes out here and finds a finish. I think to your point, we get a close fight. I think the over 4.5, I would just take the fight goes the distance at closer to even money. And yeah, in that case, I got to go with the dog shot in the guy they're building this card around in Louisiana. I think Poirier, where we might have seen him have struggles against guys that can actively wrestle or, out-grapple him. We really haven't seen too many people heavily outstrike him over 25, and his durability is still leagues above. I know he suffered that terrible head kick loss against Justin Gaethje. That's tough, man. You get hit behind the head with a head kick. That was just perfect placement. And Max can't really replicate that necessarily. He doesn't have the same power or type of head kicks that Yeah, he's landed a few here and there, but never quite with that type of magnitude of a guy like Gaethje. So I don't envision a finish on Max's side. I also don't necessarily envision a finish on the Poirier side. So yeah, I think the dog shot is the right thing to do here. It's not going to be a max bet by any stretch, but definitely feels like the right thing to do. So yeah, no guru means more nicknames. So maybe it's Max Phils versus Dumpin' Dustin. Oh baby. But yeah, no, this is gonna be a great card. Hell yeah. Mushroom agrees as well. Max is about to go 0-3 against us. And so shout out to all you guys in the chat. Make sure you're letting us know what your thoughts and your bets are. We'd love to talk about it too. But yeah, let's get moving here. Seems like we have some agreement on the main event. Ooh, man. Now this is going to be a banger. We got Paulo Borrachinha Costa. I'm not doing the eraser. Okay. That's Americanization. Paulo deserves Borrachinha. But Paulo Secret Juice Costa versus Roman Gladiator Kopylov. That's a TB nickname. That I was thinking like a Roman Gladiator, right? I think it's pretty solid. Andrew, what were your nicknames on this fight?
Yeah, I went in another direction. I went with Paulo Mahalo Costa and Roman Swipes Kopylov.
Ooh, okay. Nice. Very good. I like that. All right. So make sure if you guys have any good nicknames as well, this is a nickname special tonight. So make sure you give us all your best ones too. In this matchup, plus 185 on the Costa side, minus 225 for Kopylov. I think it's all off, man. Costa, he's truly lost to the absolute best of the division. And guys that have went on to either be in title fights or, yeah, all of them, were in a title fight or held the title. Israel Adesanya, Marvin Vettori, Robert Whittaker, Sean Strickland. Those are some of the best. And every single one of them, besides the Izzy fight, is a decision. So I don't necessarily think that Kopylov is on the same level of volume and type of fast twitch type of striking that Izzy used to frustrate Costa with the feints, and just output that was absolutely elite. Now Kopylov, I feel like he just can't maintain it for quite as long. We see him hands on your knees, like over and over. It's like every single fight. What's up, Olajuwon? Appreciate you, man. But yeah, so I truly think that Costa is going to be able to put it on for 3 rounds. He's talking about bringing back the front foot pressure striking Costa of old. And that's good enough for me I got in at plus 200. I had to take a shot here on the Costa side. If he does, like Sean Strickland, constantly on the front foot, constantly throwing out volume, doesn't run out of gas. Robert Whittaker, one of the most dangerous strikers and high-level wrestlers like in this division. Marvin Vettori, that's a tough dude. And truly, like, we saw a special type of Marvin volume performance in that fight. That really was a banger overall. 163 strikes landed by Paulo Costa. If he does that in this fight, Kopylov's having a tough time. I think he crumbles under pace. The thing is, I don't think Costa brings the type of wrestling that would have me make Costa like a max bet in this spot, but I got to take a little sprinkle here. So, Andrew, what do you got in this fight?
Very similar thoughts to you. Obviously, you mentioned the strength of schedule of Paulo Costa. His last fight against Strickland, I didn't think it should be a split. I thought Strickland clearly won. But it's not like Costa gave a bad account of himself either. Like, he hung in there with Sean Strickland over 5 rounds in a striking fight, which is where Strickland thrives. And I just think he gave a good account of himself. We haven't seen him fight too often over the last 5 years or so, and that's where it's been a year since he fought against Strickland. I guess I'm trying to imagine what form he comes in. I'm kind of taking him at his word that this is the Paulo Costa we're getting, the one that fought Strickland. Obviously, if he was a favorite, I'd be a little bit more cautious about assuming his form. But I think if he shows up like that, it's a competitive fight. Obviously, Kopylov has some good striking skills, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, Chris Curtis outlanding him in his last fight, outlanded him to the head, outlanded him at distance, and we just saw Chris Curtis go to a split with Max Griffin. Then you go another fight back, and Cesar Almeida, same thing, outlanded him at distance. Kopylov had to wrestle to win. I don't think he's going to get takedowns here at all against Costa. And, I recognize that Kopylov's a good technical striker. I'm not as high on Costa technically, but He's good pressure. He hits hard. He's good boxing. I do think it's going to play out closer than the line indicates more often than not. Like I agree with Kopylov being the favorite, but especially at the early price, like I just think it was too much. Kopylov's not really the type to cover big prices in a spot like this.
Yeah, total agreement. I think, yeah, I mean, you got to take the shot. All right, we've got Kevin Big Mouth, the Trailblazer, Holland, minus 575. Daniel, D-Rod Rodriguez. Andrew, I know you've got better nicknames than this. What do you got here?
Oh, let's see. I don't know about I think I struggled with this one. I got a little creative.
This is a tough one.
It's it's themed here, so just stick with me. It's a little out of the box. Devilish Daniel Rodriguez taking on Kevin from Heaven Holland.
Wow, I like, you know what? It all came together nicely there. That's certainly more creative than D-Rod.
You thought that. I was hoping you thought so.
Devilish D-Rod. I love it, man. You got to have some bad thoughts if you're making your nickname D-Rod. I mean, there's only if you're A-Rod can you pull that off. I'm sorry, D-Rod. It's just not worth it. You're Devilish Daniel now. So I like that. Minus 575 on the Holland side. No anchor parlay over here, but if there was one of those matchups where I truly thought we're seeing someone get a setup fight, should have them covered in every metric. We've got a huge reach advantage, a couple inches of height. Holland is competent out of multiple stances. The line is ridiculous, but I think it's probably D-Rod the Jihad. Nice. I think it's probably accurate. Minus 575. I think in today's MMA market, like Kevin Holland could be anywhere up to minus 1,000 compared to like some of the lines you see. It's just D-Rod needs the type of fight that Kevin Holland would excel at here. And I think Holland's the faster guy. He's got the reach. He's younger. And he's got way better momentum at this stage. So I'm sorry, D-Rod, you truly were like a fan favorite when you were making your best run in that like COVID era. But I know you just got a big deal for taking that Gaslam fight. But even so, that Gaslam fight just doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth when thinking about your future prospects. So I appreciate that you're going to put on a fun style of fight, but if you really wanted a chance here, you would have to be wrestling Holland, and you're not even a 185er, so it's not like you would really have success doing so. I'm having trouble determining knockout or submission or even really decision, but it's probably inside the distance for Holland, and he'll probably be part of the one degenerate parlay of the week. Andrew?
Yeah, like everything you said makes sense to me. It's just I still to this day, I know it was 5 years ago. I know it was like 12 fights ago, but him going a split against like Darren Stewart, like it's so hard for me to get to big prices on Holland because he's just such a head case that you can't really trust him. He creates more variance than usual, I guess is what I'm trying to say in his fights. And as a big favorite, like you're not really looking to back that. And I'm not rushing to the window to bet Daniel Rodriguez here for all the reasons you mentioned. Like Holland absolutely should win this fight, but he just does enough wild stuff, for lack of a better term, that it kind of makes me want to stay away from him. And as a good size favorite, especially in a fight like this where D-Rod does have good volume. Like he does pack a punch. He compete. Like that's enough for me to not want to get involved.
Yeah, it makes total sense to me. I feel like ultimately there's no max bet to be had here. If it's something and you need to touch it, go ahead, have some fun. Like I'm not going to dissuade you from. Everyone needs a fun parlay every once in a while to make it through the fight card, but like this isn't a spot that I would have conviction on. From like a I need to smash it type of deal. Yeah. Inside the distance, maybe it's a small thing, but even the price isn't even plus money. So maybe a little sneaky sub, but I don't think D-Rod goes for the grappling. So I would imagine more of a knockout. All right, we're moving on here. We've got Dan 50K Ige with a beautiful mustache, minus 218 versus Patricio Pitbull Frete, plus 180. Andrew, I need your nicknames, and then I'll let you take this one first.
So we have, oh no, Patricio Pitbull. And I'm calling him that because his first fight in the UFC was such a dud. And he's taking on Dan the Shah of Iran, Ige. And what really, it's not too technical of a breakdown, but for me, Ige just does more. And like that's why I think he's gonna win this fight. Patricio Pitbull, it's been a common theme for him where he could just kind of get stuck doing nothing, being low volume. Ige's not that guy. Ige's gonna, he's gonna go out there and fight. Like he's had a couple recently. Like I backed him in his last fight against Slenderman, and even what really like got me sold on him going into that fight was how he fought guys like Lerone Murphy and how he fought guys like Diego Lopez. And if he takes that approach here, like I trust him to because that's what he does, and Patricio Pitbull just doesn't. So I think Ige is a justified favorite. I think he wins this fight. Pitbull, he does have a really nice guillotine. He has some power. He doesn't proactively grapple. So I kind of think this is going to be a striking fight where Ige just does more.
I like that. And looking at the props, like one, I'm on the Ige side. Yeah, more like free gay this weekend, and not like, what Guru's out there doing right now. But yeah, like Dan Ige, baby. Yeah, I truly think he's one of those spots where I feel very comfortable. And one of the things that he struggled with mightily in the UFC is when he was outsized, but he wasn't technical in his approach. He didn't work the body enough. He just was running forward, swinging head strikes towards Calvin Kattar and hoping he caught him at the right time. And it seems like he's improved his counter-striking ability and to not rush things out there. So Patricio, he's talking about how he needs to come on more aggressive and blah, blah, blah. He's giving up reach. He's giving up size, which typically for Dan Ige, that's not the story, So not only is Ige coming in with better UFC experience, he's also gotten the favor of the UFC at this point with all the Diego short notice stuff. He's a company guy, the agent connection. I think overall, Ige knockout at plus 330, that's criminal. How is it decision plus 110? You got to give me knockout at plus 330 if you're taking a prop in this fight. And it's probably round one, round two. I don't think that Pitbull is going to be able to kind of skirt around the outside the way that Woodson did to survive early on. And Ige, constantly, it's not just Korean Zombie. It's also like Josh Emmett saying that Dan Ige hits harder than Topuria. This guy just crumples people, and with his type of like body head combos and like the Damon Jackson fight, like there's just been examples of the way that this guy has just truly improved his counter striking and ability to mix in his boxing. I got to go knockout here. So, and yeah, maybe he's a part of the parlay too. Nice. There we go. 62.870K. Ige. Yeah, and we got to go with him in this one. I agree. All right. We're moving on. We've got Michael the Menace Johnson, maybe the Thriller, MJ, versus Daniel the Golden Boy, Zellhuber. Yeah, damn, Daniel. What do you got for the nicknames, Andrew?
Okay, so I went with let me pull this up here. I went with OG Michael Johnson, this, yeah, OG Bobby Johnson.
Okay.
Versus Daniel, get the Uber Zellhuber.
Oh, man. All right. Get the Uber for Michael Johnson to the hospital following this matchup. I think even if he does look good for periods in round one, like Daniel Zellhuber nails it himself, man. Like Johnson just finds a way. Like he loses his composure in there, and he's talking so much pre-fight about, I have the experience. I'm like, dude, you have the experience, and you've shown us over and over again the pitfalls of your lifestyle. So no, Michael Johnson, I'm not going to be a menace and take you a plus 425. It's probably Zellhuber. Now, where it gets cheeky is his knockout is plus 150 and his sub is plus 400. If I could get an inside the distance at plus money, I would prefer to do that. So I didn't quite prepare my homework in that regard. So as I look at that, like, what do you think about this matchup, Andrew?
Yeah, it's tough. Like Michael Johnson, in all seriousness, he's one of my all-time favorites. Like to bet on, to watch. Like he's just been epic. Like the whole time, especially lately. Like it's cool when, late in your career, like Michael Johnson has literally had like a million fights in the UFC, but he had lost, he lost like 4 out of his last 5 or something like that. And then over the last couple of years, like he gets matched up with some guys who, in my opinion, just aren't, you don't want to see like for lack of a better term, an OG like Michael Johnson lose to Otman Azaitar or Darius Flowers, and it's been cool to watch him beat those guys, especially at this stage in his career. But I think this is a little much for him. I think Zellhuber is just too athletic, too skilled at this point. I think he's going to be a step ahead of Johnson most of the way through. More complete striker. So I'm not, breaking any news here, but I'm going to go with Zellhuber to get it done.
Makes sense to me. The finish is -115 on DraftKings. The guru would always tell you to go look on FanDuel. So I'm curious if they can get us any plus money. But yeah, ultimately, I think you're also going to get a live betting opportunity here on Daniel Zellhuber. There's a chance he comes out slow following a fight where I know it doesn't say he got knocked down or knocked out, but he was as close as it gets on the ropes in that UFC Noche fight. And what I will say is also, the type of shot that he lands on Ribovic, like that's something that Michael Johnson doesn't wake back up from. So in that fight, I can kind of give him a pass as, Ribovic just fails to go away. Like I think Michael Johnson, you give him that type of shot, he's probably going to choose to go away at that juncture. So to close it out here on that point, the double chance is still -110 on FanDuel. So I probably got to pass if it's not plus money on that inside the distance for Zellhuber. All right, we're going to move on here. I would say actually FanDuel round 2, round 3 knockout for Zellhuber to get super cute plus 380. That's a grandma's couch cushion. Go over to your grandma's house, say hi, give her a kiss, go immediately to her couch, dig in there, see what kind of change you can come up with, and we're taking plus 380. And we can also do the Danny Gate knockout plus 330 while you're already at grandma's house. Just double dip. Maybe grandpa's armchair's got a little extra something in there. All right, so now as we're moving on here, we've got Kyler the Matrix Phillips versus Vinicius Lockdog Oliveira. Kyler, given the creators of the Matrix and the hairstyle he's going with, he's trying to emulate a little something there over time. And then Vinicius, this guy's just a dog. So Andrew, what do you got for the nicknames here? And I'm curious, what is your breakdown on the fight?
I actually think I missed the nicknames here. I'm going to try to make it up on the spot. Give me a second here. I'll come up with something.
I believe in you.
Kyler shoot from the hips Phillips.
Ooh.
Taking on Vinicius Oliveira is a hard one.
That's a toughie. You could just give him De Silva, I feel like every other.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But this is a really hard fight to call, in my opinion, because on one hand, like Kyler Phillips is a really dynamic striker. He's good jiu-jitsu. He just has some flaws that have come back to bite him that aren't skill issues. Like his cardio, he tries to throw spin kicks, which I hate. He tries to, but he bounces around the outside, goes for the spin kick, shoots a takedown, goes for a sub. The guy gets back up. And Oliveira, he's not as skilled as Kyler Phillips, but I really trust him to come forward and put the pressure on Phillips. And I trust him to, still be there late in the fight. Like we've seen him against, Sopas, for example, where he comes back and gets it done late. And I'm going to pick him to win here, but it's one of those fights I truly think it could go either way. I think Phillips will have success early. It's just I don't trust him to sustain it throughout 15 minutes.
No, this is another one of those, like, and Guru's been yelling at me that I always say this and then it doesn't actually play out that way when we're watching the fight. But this is a classic live betting spot. Kyler Phillips, he wins just about every single first round, even in the 2 fights that he loses. He's a unanimous first round winner in both of those fights. Now, I think the difference here is that Lockdog actually has the potential to put him away and finish him, whereas he just kind of gasses out and holds on versus guys that aren't quite as dangerous or don't have as much of a pace. So in this fight, what I do worry about for Oliveira on the other side of things is the first round knockout. I think Kyler Phillips, the type of damage he can land and the kicks he has, the weird angles, his dynamic first round speed and just effortless movement, he's going to be dangerous in round one. So I understand a dog shot. But at the same time, I'm more happy to, like, 2 minutes into round one, if I can get plus money on Oliveira, that's like going to be the smash spot that I'm looking for, because if we get into round two, the tide's going to turn. Like Phillips, this isn't a guy on Lock Dog that's going to just, like, kind of temper it away. He's going to want to stand in the middle and bang. And if you're going to back away, he's going to walk you down. I don't care how big the octagon is. Lock Dog is going to make it feel a lot smaller as Kyler Phillips starts gassing out down the stretch. So I'm not laying a pre-fight bet on Oliveira. It's just principle. What I will do, I mean, listen, we just took a trip to Grandma's house, right? So if we're looking for a pre-fight bet and you just can't wait for live, I'm going to go with the round 2, round 3 knockout at plus 700 for Oliveira. Just a couple bucks until I can get the plus money live. And if it goes down, it goes down, and Kyler Phillips proves something. But Oliveira, he doesn't seem like the typical hype guy. Like, I think his takedown defense and grappling have certainly looked to improve. You don't just beat Ricky Simone like that. Like, you have to actually be a solid fighter. So that was impressive enough in its own right. And in a couple of other matchups, I mean, he's facing really good competition on the regional scene and in the UFC. So I'm willing to give him a pass for some early knockouts. And if he can weather the storm round one, I will be there. That's for damn sure. So sounds good. All right, we're moving on. Thank you guys so much. Absolutely electric live chat today. I agree, Mushroom. We're rolling it out. Dirty Reg, thank you. Everyone in the chat, please throw a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate everyone for being here so much. If you're a crazy person, you'll donate, but I don't expect anything out of you as long as you like and subscribe. All right. We're moving on. We've got Marvin, the Italian Dream Vettori, Marvin Meatball Vettori versus Brendan All-In Allen. I like to say Brendan No Chin Allen, but plus 164 on the Vettori side, minus 198 on the Allen side. I mean, we got some beef in this matchup, and it's not just the meatballs. Andrew, what are your nicknames here?
I missed this one too. I'm not coming up with one.
It's all right. No worries. I actually got that one covered. So
yeah, I can't top that.
Haunter, that's sketchy. Chill out. We might have to do something about it, but I hope not. Marvin Vettori, the Italian Dream, plus 164. I feel like I'm having a little bit of an Italian dream over here. Things that intrigue me, very difficult to grapple and wrestle Marvin Vettori. I don't necessarily think he's the best offensive wrestler and grappler unless he's facing Kevin Holland. But I do think he uses it very well defensively. And you see that in like the Jack Hermanson matchup and a couple other spots where even like Roman Dolidze, if he was going to get finished, whether it be by grappling, by striking, we probably would have seen it in the last fight, coming off a long layoff, crazy shoulder surgery, washed, like, oh, is Marvin ever going to be the same Vettori? What I come away with is like, listen, this guy actually, I know he was like a favorite. He didn't come through, but we're sitting here now plus 164. And a guy like Brendan Allen, I'm super impressed by his grappling in the sense that like he's really good at it. It's just not consistently enough. And I feel that he has a tendency to melt if things aren't going his way. So I'm super scared for him as a nice favorite here against a guy that has elite cardio, has elite durability, and I think Marvin actually kind of gets it done here. So I got to take the dog shot. I might have missed the best of the line, but call me crazy here. I'm also taking a peek. Grandma might be broke after this week, but Marvin Vettori knockout at plus 1,600. If there was going to be a finish in this fight, I think that's how it happens. I don't think it's the Brendan Allen plus 450 by sub. But yeah, if this fight wasn't going the distance, which, I mean, they're saying minus 345 for the over 2.5. I get it. But yeah, I'm curious here. So Andrew, what are you thinking on this one?
It's tricky. Like, so much of me wants to get to a Vettori bet here, but it's so hard to ignore his form lately. Like, I was so unimpressed with that Dolidze fight, man. Like, you should not be losing a 5-round striking fight to Roman Dolidze. Like, come on. Just come on. And then, even if you go a little bit further back, like, the Cannoneer fight, took an all-time beating. He's only fought once since then. It was, it's been 2 years since that fight. I just don't know, man. Like, on the flip side, Allen, typically when he's covering a price, it's, he's grappling. Vettori, even in this form, isn't easy to grapple. It's a really tricky fight for me. I don't feel confident. Like, I guess, gun to my head, I'd go Vettori, but it's one I'm not going to get to a bet on.
Yeah, I understand. I've been very tentative. I pulled the trigger on a couple. I'm happy to kind of see where a few of these wide lines end up as the week goes on. I'm considering it. I would need to see. I don't know what I would need to see, but I need to feel it. All right, we're moving on. We've got Francisco El Perro Prado versus Nikolai Veretennikov. I brought the TB nicknames for this one. Andrew, did you have any yourself?
Not better than that.
All right.
All right. Actually, maybe they're on the same level. Nikolai, don't tell the truth, Veretennikov versus Francisco Disco Prado.
Ooh, take me to the disco. All right. I like that. That's pretty good on the Nikolai one, too. Don't tell a lie. All right, so Prado minus 148, Nikolai plus 124. I could see this being a typical trap spot on the underdog, and I am sitting with a little bit of like plus 130 on Nikolai. That, listen, I could cash it out if I need to. There's no charge on Bet365 for me on that, but I'm curious because he's going to be the taller guy. He's going to have the reach advantage. I'm just curious if he's got the dog like El Perro does. Like Prado, that's one thing. He's going to come forward. He's going to swing like crazy. He's got zero defense, essentially. Like when it comes to like getting in the pocket, he tends to get outlanded at a significant rate. The devil wears Prado. Oh, my goodness. Rem Dog, you nailed it. That was amazing.
That's a good one.
That was good. But Veretennikov, I feel like I really like his level of competition. I think the Vanderford fight, very weird how he pulled out, then ends up back, and getting the hometown guy on a short notice when he was supposed to fight someone else and pulled out. Then there was an injury, but he's back. So I think it was supposed to be like the Prudential card. I don't know. I forget the exact thing, but it was very weird for Veretennikov. And the Barlow fight, all these weird circumstances. Michael Morales fight, he gives a good account of himself. All these guys are better than the ones that have been beating Prado in my estimation. So I got to go with the bigger guy, better comp on the regional end here. I know Prado's a lot younger and he's got upside. He started shooting takedowns his last fight. I don't think he's Austin Vanderford level of ground game from shooting a few takedowns on Jake Matthews. I think we're going to see a very technical Veretennikov decision. Probably decision, because I don't think you're finishing Prado unless, you have like a shovel or something. Andrew, what do you think about this one?
No, I think you nailed it. Veretennikov's bigger. He's technical. He fought some guys I consider to be really good, close, like Barlow and Michael Morales. I would both, favor over Prado pretty significantly. Prado's a dog. He's going to come forward. He does have power. So, Veretennikov's going to have to be mindful of that. I don't really think either guy's going to – I don't give either guy too much grappling upside. I think it's mostly going to be a striking fight. But at this price, give me the guy who's, bigger, more technical, more proven against better people.
Yeah, I like that a lot. We threw a few units down on Veretennikov. I thought the line might go a little bit closer. Seems like Prado's kind of a popular play in some places as well. So money's kind of holding even here. I'm happy to be on the dog. All right, we're moving on. We've got this silent assassin, Ateba Gautier, GOAT status, versus Robzilla Valentine. That was pretty good, Rob. I'll let you keep your nickname. But Andrew, did you make any for this fight?
I did. I'm stealing this one from a legend.
Okay.
Rubber bullet for my Valentine.
Yes. That's so good. Oh my God. That's amazing.
And then I barely know how to say the other guy's name, so I'm going to skip that one.
I like it. I like it. So yeah, I mean, in this fight, it's minus 550, plus 410. I think. Oh no. He is very keen on nicknames. I don't think you know Andrew the way that we do. I'm sorry, Edward, but welcome to Chronic Combat, where Andrew's true colors come out.
This is definitely a special occasion.
Yes. All right. So yeah, I mean, clearly, I think the line's correct here. I think that Gautier is going to clearly be the better athlete. He's going to have a height, reach advantage. I think he's smoother switching stances, throwing kicks at all level. And yeah, I think, he probably is getting a finish relatively quickly. I don't think I need to find out with the over under 1.5 here. I don't need to play that game. I think if anything, like if you need a parlay and you got to do it for a few fights on this card, I'm probably doing it on the Gautier side. Valentine, it's very much going to be like he's going to need to get the wrestling going or some type of chaotic mess. And I don't think it works out as well as he might imagine when he's given up this type of athleticism disparity. And the way that Medina just gets crumbled and Gautier figures out like, all right, well, the strikes aren't working with my hands. Like, here comes a knee. And that was that. And we've seen him use his feints and his boxing to set up head kicks on the regional scene. This guy's got very, very good striking and the power to go along with it. He's got some special potential in my estimation, and I think we're going to see him do big things Saturday night. Andrew, what do you think here?
Yeah, I'm a little bit tempted on Valentine. Like, I expect Gautier to win, but I do think it's a little wide. Like, especially, given what the lines have been on Valentine's last couple of fights, like we're making a lot of assumptions about Gautier. I'm just not sure I'm there yet.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, this is the same idea as we were talking about. Like, there's no need to find out with a max bet to parlay your whole life away. But if you need a little something for the whole card, like I think he's one of the guys that probably has the most potential to win in a violent fashion. And if the fight doesn't have to go 15 minutes, typically, I like being on the side of the guy that could get the fast finish or the dominant decision. Those are the guys we're looking for. All right, we've got Adam Forget About It Fugit versus Islam the Ripper Dulatov, the Dull Blade. Yeah, I mean, plus 455 on Fugit, minus 625 on Dulatov. I think we're probably getting plus 1,000 on Fugit at some point in the first round if he's still alive. There's no need to bet either side pre-flop. We don't know enough about the debutant Dulatov. He's kind of, I imagine he gets around one finish here, but do I really need to be at the window to find out about it? This is one of those fights where, we're going to be looking right before the fight starts. Oh, maybe there's some sketchy prop that we could throw in there because we just need to do it. But I can't in any stretch of the imagination really give you a confident pick about anything besides Dulatov probably wins round one, but I don't think the price is good enough to justify it. Andrew, what are you thinking?
I'm exactly with you. Again, similar to last fight, Fugit or pass, but I think there's going to be an opportunity at some point mid-late round one to get as good a price or better, and you kind of you get to watch a little bit of what Dulatov is levels wise, and if Fugit does avoid an early finish, like you kind of see how it's playing out. So I agree with that strategy here.
Yeah, beautiful. I think, you have to leave some space while you're watching the fights. And if you see the line go crazy and you need to be in on it, you got to have some bankroll to do that. So don't blow it all before the fights start. That would be my recommendation. All right, we're moving on. We got Jimmy the Brute Crute versus Marcin No Chin Prachnio. And with Jimmy, he's no brain Crute, no cranium. Andrew, did you have any nicknames prepared in this matchup?
Jimmy John's Crute and Mean Marcin Prachnio.
Nice. Mean Marcin. Maybe that's why Khalil Roundtree was hypnotized by those eyes in the octagon. I think Jimmy Crute he's most likely just going out there, grapple immediately. Once again, if I was holding the controller for Jimmy No Cranium Crute, this is what I would be doing. Immediate takedowns, rinse, repeat, go for the sub, Kimura, all those beautiful power type of chokes that Crute likes going for. Just empty the tank and try to get it done in round one. I don't think Prachnio would survive that type of onslaught. I think it's a round one submission. Something tells me something sketchy is going to happen. So maybe it's a round one, round two. Maybe it's I'm not going to bet a prop on this fight because how can you trust this guy? But Jimmy, I mean, even if this fight did stay standing, I truly think the only place where he's outclassed is the calf kicks. I do think he probably has more punching power and more volume with his fists. It's just if he comes out no cranium mode and starts getting calf kicked and can't get any takedowns going, and all of a sudden, we're looking at limp leg Jimmy, we wouldn't be too happy. So I would caution the fans of the channel to be very careful with the guy that's already like retired as like a 20-something-year-old. This guy just doesn't seem mentally all there. So it's tough for me to trust him at this type of pricing. But do I think he, like, most likely, Occam's razor? Yeah, it's probably round one sub. So what do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think obviously, Crute's more well-rounded, more ways to win, just an all-around better fighter, but almost similar to the Holland fight and a couple other fights we've talked about, there's too much variance that comes with Jimmy Crute to lay this kind of price on him, at least in my opinion. So do I expect him to get it done? Yes. Again, agreeing with you, if you're holding the controller, he's going out there and getting right after it. But we don't hold the controller, so I think this is a pass too.
Yeah, that's one of those lessons that I continue to learn, even as I get more aware. It's just like, even if you could plan out the best game plan, you've seen them do it before, that doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to do it again, right? So just be careful. That's something to always consider. All right, we've got Superman Ryan Spann, the guy whose biggest battle is his appetite versus Lucas the Bull Dresky, or Undress Me Dresky. Take your player's choice. Andrew, since you've been agreeing with me the last few fights, you get to tell me if you got nicknames, and then what's your breakdown on this fight?
Crying Ryan Spann.
That's pretty good.
On Lucas Sick with Mucus Brzezinski.
Oh my God, yes.
And yeah, I mean, Spann is better, more athletic, bigger hitter. He just has such a way of crumbling when the going gets tough. And it's like, okay, do you think the going is going to get tough here? I don't know. Is Brzezinski that guy? Probably not. But Spann's one of those guys that when you lay a price like this, you're sitting there after, 4 minutes, say it gets that far, and you're saying, why the hell did I do this? So I'll assume Spann gets it done early. If not, I'm going to be looking to pull the trigger similar to the Fugit fight. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, totally. I mean, can I just rinse and repeat my Jimmy Crute breakdown? Like,
yeah.
if you hold the controller, you're sending Ryan Spann for a takedown and trying to wrap up a gilly as Lucas scrambles back to his feet. But once again, I don't control the controller, and also I'm not in Ryan Spann's camp making sure that he's actively putting in cardio and caring about his craft. So seeing him now at heavyweight, no real looks out there on Instagram of what he's been up to or what type of shape he's in. I don't imagine it looks pretty when he hops on the scale. And, as tempted as I'm going to be to pull the trigger on Dresky, like, I don't think we're getting a good enough price based off of what round one could look like. So, maybe if you're feeling zesty, you do a very small parlay of like Crute round one, Spann round one for like talk to grandma once again. Don't tell her what you're doing, but, she could be very broke after this fight card, or you could be bringing her back a nice gift for all of her troubles, letting you dig into the couch. So
that should have been the nickname, Zesty, Lucas Zesty Bresky.
Yes. Oh man, and especially with like his physique has been all over the place. He's a zesty boy. I like that. That's pretty good. All right, so we've got Bruno the Hulky Ferreira versus Jackson the Moose McVeigh. I mean, this one's going to look like one of those clown show fights, but the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And it should be Hulk smash season. But at this price, for a guy that I watched get flatlined by a very similar type of frame in Nursultan Ruzaboyev off of a caught kick and ground and pound, like McVeigh in the clinch, or McVeigh if he somehow ends up in top, or I don't know. Listen, I'm just I'm just thinking like it's gotta be Bruno if we're just like I have to submit a pick for this fight. It's probably Bruno and quickly, but at the same time, like we've never seen McVeigh lose, let alone get finished. And then also, I mean, he's also got a lot of round one finishing upside, and we've seen Bruno be finished multiple times. This is one of those I need more information type of spots, and all these short notice changes for McVeigh. It doesn't lead me to believe he's in the best of positions to have success come Saturday night. So I'm going to pass on doing any type of dog shot, but I think I'm also going to pass altogether on any type of Bruno exposure or any type of prop in this fight. The funniest thing would be over 1.5 and like fight goes the distance in the ladder of death scenario. I think it would be funny. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm seeing if I did a nickname here. This one, I don't know how I thought of it, but I thought of it. Bruno, let's play Uno Ferreira, taking on Jackson Mahomes McVeigh.
Yes.
And,
yes.
yeah, Ferreira, when I picture this fight, like I'm like, okay, Ferreira's going to knock him out in the first round. But I also just don't think Ferreira is skilled enough to the point where, again, this is like, it feels like the theme of this card. Like, you're going to lay minus 550 on a guy who, was losing pretty badly to, what the hell is his name? Dustin the Doofus Stoltzfus before he landed. That was right on the spot nickname. Before he landed, like, a miracle spinning elbow. Again, I expect Ferreira to get a round one knockout, but not the guy I'm looking to pay 5.5 to 1 on.
Yeah, no shot. Thank you very much. I'll be just enjoying the hilarious nature of how this fight plays out. All right, we made it. We've got crispy Carly Giudice versus Nicole Anaconda Cagliari. Or Capolini, I was thinking too, even though she is Brazilian and not Italian. But I don't know. Her name gives me vibes. Carly, she's pretty crispy. I like that. The softball hero. Andrew, for this final fight, you get the nicknames, you get the breakdown, my friend. What do you got here?
I didn't do a nickname for this one.
That's okay. They didn't earn it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you the breakdown for sure. I went into this fight. I've went back and forth in my head a couple of times here. On one hand, Giudice has really good volume, good striker, bigger than Cagliari. Cagliari has some grappling upside here, and anytime, a plus 270 has grappling upside, I'm just, it's my nature to be intrigued. There are some concerns, like obviously for me, like size is a big one. Like she struggled getting down a bigger girl in her last fight. Could happen again here. On the feet, she's not like hopeless or helpless, but she's outmatched for sure. And that's really where I'm right on the fence. Is okay, is she gonna get takedowns? Because I think if she could get Giudice's shoulders flat to the mat, like she's gonna have success. But I think doing so is gonna be hard. Like maybe she gets some takedowns like up against the fence. Maybe she gets them, where she's kind of like halfway on the ground but not fully there. So I do think it's dog or pass. But I'm not as enthusiastic about it as I thought I would be.
Yeah, I think also if I was going to do anything here, like for one, Carly, maybe she could join the parlay party, because if this fight does end up staying on the feet, she's gonna have way more volume. But the thing I'm kind of curious about is Carly. Every single one of her fights in her career that she's won, round one knockout. So her by knockout in general, plus 300. Say the pace is too much, the volume's too much, Cagliari crumbles. I could be interested in a little sprinkle on that type of prop. And I think Giudice, like, if I have my Degen parlay of the night, she's getting some consideration. So ultimately, going to take Giudice here, debating the knockout prop, but I know what you people want. you want the make the bookies pay parlay. So what I would be cooking up here for this fight card, and it's gross, it's disgusting, but we need a little something. We gave you some good props. We gave you some playable money lines. Now it's time to have a little bit of fun, right? So if we're going to make the bookies pay, we're going to start with Danny Gay's money line. We're going to add in a little bit of Ateba Gautier, not necessarily something, you want to recommend too heavily, but yeah, he should probably win, right? Then we're also going to go ahead. We'll take Crispy Carly. And at that stage, we got 3 legs for plus 122. It sounds like fun to me. I'm not saying we're throwing it all here, but maybe we make the bookies pay a little bit. We could do a little Carly, Ateba, and Danny Gay. Let's have some fun. We gave you some great props throughout the show. Hope you guys had an absolutely awesome time. So please, if you haven't already, throw a like on the channel, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It means so much. We do all this hard work. I know the guru's out enjoying some micro wrestling, but dude's been having some stuff going on behind the scenes, but he's been making it every week. And I got to give a shout out to my dog because, he's the reason, we're going to be watching the fights together this weekend. We'll have a good time as much as we like poking fun. Love doing the show with my dude all the time. But Andrew, thank you so much for hopping in, making this an awesome experience. What do you got to say to the people before we hop out of here?
Yeah, thanks for having me. As always, super fun time. Guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Enjoy the fights this weekend, and I'll see you in the future.
Hell yeah, man. So thanks so much, everybody. Do the right thing, damn it. Hit the like button. We'll see you guys next week. UFC, I think it's Abu Dhabi, right? Is it? I can't remember, but we have Picks by Pegasus coming on. Should be fun. Catch our bets before the card starts. We'll get them posted, and we will see you guys next week.